In this video, I will discuss some rotational motion problems from previous year's question papers of IIT JEE. This is the first question, assertion deletion type. There are two statements. Statement 1, two cylinders, one hollow metal and the other solid wood with the same mass at identical dimensions are simultaneously allowed to roll without slipping down an inclined plane from the same height. The hollow cylinder will reach the bottom of the inclined plane first. Statement 2, by principle of conservation of energy, the total kinetic energies of both the cylinders are identical when they reach the bottom. Four options are given. We have to check whether the statements 1 and 2 are true and whether they are related. You can pause and attempt this question. So this is a free body diagram of the object rolling down the inclined plane. The forces acting on this object are its weight mg vertically downwards, normal direction perpendicular to the surface of contact, and the friction force tangent to the surface of contact, and let it roll down with an angular acceleration alpha and a linear acceleration a. So writing the force balance equation along the plane, the force acting down the plane is mg sin theta minus f, that's equal to mass and acceleration, and the torque about the center of this object is F into R, the friction force into the distance of the friction force from the center, which is the radius of the object, and the weight and normal direction pass through the center, so it will not generate any torque. So this net torque will be equal to I into alpha. This is Newton's second law of motion applied to rotational motion, and alpha is A by R, and there is one R here, so F will become I into A divided by R square. So from these two equations, if we eliminate the friction force, we get mg sin theta equal to this into A. So from this we get the expression for acceleration as g sin theta divided by 1 plus I by mr square, where I is the moment of inertia of this object about its axis passing through the center. For a hollow cylinder, the moment of inertia is more because the mass is at a farther distributed at a farther distance, and moment of inertia is mr square of all the elements added together. So moment of inertia of a hollow cylinder is more compared to a solid cylinder because the mass distribution is farther away in a hollow cylinder. So the acceleration of the hollow cylinder will be less because if moment of inertia is more, acceleration will be less, and the time taken for the hollow cylinder will be more because it's coming down slowly as acceleration is less. So the hollow cylinder will reach the bottom slowly. Statement 1 says the hollow cylinder will reach the bottom first. That is not true. So statement 1 is false. This friction force is a rolling friction. There is no sliding, so it's a non-dissipative force. So the energy is conserved. So the loss in potential energy from the initial point to the point it reaches the bottom will be equal to the gain in kinetic energy. Since both the objects cylinders are released from the same height, the loss in potential energy is same for both. So the gain in kinetic energy is also same for both. So the statement 2, which says that the total kinetic energy of both the cylinders are same, is true. So statement 2 is true, statement 1 is false. So the correct option is option D. This is the next question, comprehension based questions. Two discs A and B are mounted coaxially on a vertical axle. The discs have moments of inertia I and 2I respectively about the common axis. Disc A is imparted an initial angular velocity 2 omega using the entire potential energy of a spring compressed by a distance x1. Disc B is imparted angular velocity omega by a spring, same spring, constant, compressed by a distance x2. Both the discs rotate in clockwise direction. The ratio of x1 by x2 is. You can pause and attempt this question. The disc 1 has got moment of inertia I and its initial angular velocity is 2 omega, and the second disk B has got moment of inertia 2I, and the initial angular velocity is omega. So this initially this disk will have a kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy half I 2 omega square, and that energy is supplied by a spring which is compressed by an amount x1. So half k x1 square should be equal to half I 2 omega square. And the second disk, the energy, the initial kinetic energy which is half 2I omega square, is supplied by a spring which is compressed by a amount x2. So half k x2 square should be equal to half 2I omega square. So we find the ratio x1 by x2. So if we divide 1 and 2, we get x1 by x2 as root 2. So the correct option is option C. So when disk B is brought in contact with disk A, they acquire common angular velocity in time t. The average frictional torque on one disk by the other during this period is. You can pause and attempt this question. So the two disks are brought together, one disk is kept on top of the other. So the disk A, its initial speed is 2 omega, it will reduce to omega prime, and the disk B, initially it's rotating at omega, so its angular speed will increase to omega prime. Omega prime is the final common angular velocity. So the torque which is existing between the two disks is a frictional torque which will keep them together. That's equal to I into alpha. The frictional torque acting on the first disk is I of the first disk, that is I into alpha, and alpha average value is 2 omega minus omega prime by t, and the frictional torque acting on the disk B is its moment of inertia 2I into omega prime minus omega by t. The frictional torque is common. So using equation 1 and 2, we get omega prime as 4/3 omega. So from this we can find the average torque as I by t into 2 omega minus omega prime is 4/3 omega. So that will give the average frictional torque was 2/3 I omega by t. So the correct option is option E. This is the next part of the question. The loss in kinetic energy in the above process is. You can pause and attempt this question. So the loss in kinetic energy is the initial kinetic energy minus the final. So initial kinetic energy is kinetic energy of the two disks, that is half I 2 omega square plus half 2I omega square, and the final kinetic energy of the combined motion, that is half 3I into 4/3 omega square. So simplifying we get 1/3 I omega square. The correct option is option B. This is the next question. A uniform thin cylindrical disc of mass m and radius r is attached to two identical massless springs of spring constant k, which are fixed to the wall as shown in the figure. The springs are attached to the axle of the disc symmetrically on either side at a distance d from its center. The axle is massless and both the springs and the axle are in horizontal plane. The unstretched length of the spring is L. The disc is initially at its equilibrium position with its center of mass at a distance L from the wall. The disc rolls without slipping with velocity v0 I. The coefficient of friction is mu. The net external force acting on the disc when its center of mass is at a displacement x with respect to its equilibrium position is. You can pause and attempt this question. So drawing the free body diagram of the rod which is connecting the disc and the two springs. There will be contact between the disc and the rod. So let that contact point generate a normal reaction on the rod towards right, and it will generate a normal reaction towards left on this circular disc. And let the normal reaction begin. and the springs are stretched by an amount x, so it will generate a force kx. So the normal reaction is equal to 2kx, and the free body diagram of the disc, the forces are the normal reaction, friction force a little bit towards right. If this assumed direction is wrong, then we will get a negative value, and let the acceleration be towards right, a, and the angular acceleration be alpha in the clockwise direction. So out of the force balance equation we get F minus n as m into a, where m is the mass of this disc, capital M, and torque about the center point, only the friction force will generate torque, minus F into r equal to I into alpha. I of a disc is half mr square, and r alpha is a, and 1 r will cancel, so that will give this equation number 3. So using equation 1 and 2 in 3, we get half F minus 2kx equal to minus F. So that will give the friction force F as 2/3 kx. So the net force acting on the disc is n minus F, that is 2 minus 2/3 kx, that is 4/3 kx, and n minus F is towards left, so the direction is minus I cap. So the net force is 4/3 kx minus I cap, so the correct option is option D. The next part of the question, the center of mass of the disc undergoes simple harmonic motion with angular frequency omega equal to, you can pause and attempt this question. The net force acting on the disc, that is the restoring force, that is n minus F, that is 4/3 kx, and it's in the minus x direction. So this is the effective k. So for a simple harmonic motion, this result is valid, k equal to m omega square. Here k is k effective. So from this we get the omega of the SHM as square root of 4 by 3 into k by m. So the correct option is option D. This is the next part of the question. Maximum value of V naught for which the disc will roll without slipping is. You can pause and attempt this question. So this is the free diagram of the disc. The normal direction will be towards left, friction force is towards right, and in the vertical direction there will be a weight, and there will be normal reaction in the perpendicular direction because of the contact with the ground. So this friction force, its maximum value mu into n perpendicular, there will be mu mg. But when it's rolling, the friction is 2/3 kx. That you have found in the first part of the question. So when this 2/3 kx is less than this maximum friction force which this surface can provide, the thing will roll without slipping. So that will give a condition on the maximum amplitude. So 2/3 kx, its maximum value is the, when x is maximum, that will be the maximum amplitude point. So from this we get the amplitude for which the thing will roll without slipping as this value, and velocity of a simple harmonic motion, its maximum value is given as a omega. This is a result of an SHM. So from using the value of a, we get velocity max as this expression. So the correct option is option C.